Hopefully I don't get any more calls on my phone that I'm trying to use to record. Will that go away? Hey, it's Brain Muffin back with a beer review, and hopefully I actually have an introduction and you just saw it and you saw the other stuff going on. But from Sierra Nevada, who I thought was going out of business, and I guess they're not. Man, my posture sucks. Been so lazy for 2 years, and 3 years. Holy cow. Such a moron. Anyway, we have the Atomic Torpedo Imperial IPA, 9.2% APV. Now, if you're going to go to the trouble to put that on the can, why don't you put your IBUs as well? When my brother and I were visiting the Appalachian Mountain Brewery over in Boone, they have that on their board. They have the alcohol, but they don't have the IBUs. I even asked, do you have the IBUs? They're like, I don't know. No, we don't. I'm like, dude, come on. Just at least just use the calculated one from Beersmith. It's good enough. But anyway, this is in Chico, California. So this was part of a care package my brother brought down from Cincinnati. I don't know. I think I paid him $40, $50. I don't remember. But this was one of several big cans. And so we've got the big Hard Rock Cafe, London, which I actually have been to. Now, I did not get this glass there. I got this glass many years ago at a conference in Phoenix for AAA. And somewhere in one of my videos, I say, I don't remember which one, how I got this, and had the company pay for it to have it shipped back because I could not get on the plane with it. But anyway, it's a very interesting story. I never did drink the wine. There were 2 bottles of wine in there, and I think I gave them to my dad years ago. I don't remember. I don't drink wine. But anyway, there's a recipe on the back of here for a hurricane that I can't read because I'm old. There's something about cranberry juice. It's one of these things you got to fill it up so you can read it. Anyway, let's get on the beer review, shall we? I'm not a mixed drink fan unless it's all liquors. Once you start adding the fruit juice, you get cotton mouth because of all the sugar. So that's all that's on here, which I've also said before. And so we're in the imperial category, which means a little bit bigger. So 9.2% alcohol. Now, being canned, what I've noticed about canned beers is they tend to go one of 2 ways. They mellow out too much, or they go up in bitterness and other stuff. Oh, grapefruit on the nose. Ooh, it's got a beautiful color. Nice golden. Now, this is a pale ale, all right. Looks like it's perhaps might be filtered. Oh, egg, stop sneezing. Swear. Till I start talking. No, that's not egg, that's dozer. I'm sorry, egg. So there we go. But the thing I like about this glass is I can pour big beers into it. What's hard to tell because of the tapered nature of it down here and up here is if I'm pouring right and if I end up with too much head or not. Now, I understand some of you are like, well, there's never such thing as too much head. Mostly correct. So, yeah, I'm getting grapefruit and tropical fruitiness on the nose. Not quite pink grapefruit, just kind of grapey fruit. And the head is nice, and it's got a nice foaminess to it. Small bubbles, love it. Let's just try the foam. Not bad. Actually pretty good. A little fruitiness, a little bit of bitterness, not much. Oh, wow. That is good. There's just a very slight hint of alcohol warming. And I mean very slight. For 9.2, that is smooth. This is a beer that could easily sneak up on you. I don't know what it's like in draft, but in can, this is probably one of the best IPAs I've ever had out of a can, period. I mean, really have to search my Untappd history to find one out of a can this smooth. I've had a few out of the bottle this smooth. I've had a bunch on draft, either at a restaurant or more likely in the brewery, this smooth, but not many out of a can. It's fantastic. Yeah, and the foaminess is getting to me. I mean, it's fruity, it's lively. I mean, look at the color. Fantastic. It's kind of clear. And it's still kind of cold, right? I had it out for a little bit, but not too long. The problem with some of the, especially the cans, I've noticed, if you get them to proper temperature before you pour them, they go, psh, so you got to still pour them cold, not too cold. But man, that is absolutely fantastic. And the problem with it is you could, especially if it's smoother than this on draft, you're drinking this, you do not understand how drunk you're getting because there's no hints until you go to stand up. There's no alcohol warming. There's no residual bitterness. It is smooth. It finishes, it starts fruity on the nose. It starts fruity in the tip of the mouth the whole time, and there's this fruitiness about it. Tropical fruits, I don't know, maybe passion fruit. Definitely get grapefruit notes. I don't get lemon. And I've had beer judges try some of my own beers that I don't get lemon out of, and that's what they pick up. And now I'm not talking lemon pledge lemon. I mean that lemony freshness that you went to the store, you rub some lemons together and kind of smell, which is fantastic because it's amazing the beer profiles, the flavor profiles I don't pick up anymore. I'm just too old. But that is fantastic. I mean, out of a can even, I would not have believed it, that you could get a beer this smooth. The only time I've had beer this smooth out of a can is the various versions of the nitrogen injection widget you get with Guinness and several, and like I think Harp Lager is one of them. There's some ale that I had. It's not Boddington's is a cider, I thought. But there's some ale that I've had out of a can with the widget, and it's been too many years. I'm gonna have to find it. But those with the nitrogen injection, you get that smoothness. But normally with carbonation like this, you don't tend to get that smooth except on draft. And it may be, it looks, the head looks naturally carbonated. I don't know. I mean, obviously I can't look in there and see any, it might be filtered anyway. And there's some breweries that do that. There's some breweries that'll do a secondary with natural carbonation, and then they'll put it through a sand filter, and the carbonation comes with it, but it leaves the yeast behind. But quite often, they use a bright tank. And usually, but not always, in a bright tank, when done right, is very hard to tell. But you got to use a very small stone, and it takes days to get that carbonation level right. But most people crank it up and do it, and it's almost like soda. But I mean, it still gets pretty good head retention even in this glass, which is not made for beer. It's made for fruity drinks to get you white girl wasted pretty quickly. And I can actually almost read the recipe now. So we have Bacardi Superior Rum, we have cranberry juice, we have pineapple juice, we have mango juice, we have grenadine and float, Bacardi Dark Rum and Amarino Disaronno. Something like that. I don't know. I don't even know what the heck that means. That's the only thing I don't know. I know what everything else is. In other words, you float this on top. So you put the rest of it in here, and then you just float. So you probably use a spoon, I imagine. But not a bartender. I don't know. I'm babbling now, and people are like, "Oh my God, we're done with the review." The sides of the can feel a little thick, so I would not be surprised if there's some kind of liner in there. But that is fantastic. So, I mean, that is a solid 5. Normally, I like to reserve a little bit for if I ever have a beer on draft. And, I don't know where in the world I would find this on draft, even in Tennessee. I mean, anywhere other than at the brewery. I suspect if I ever can go to California and I'm allowed into the country there, I doubt it. But, I do have a anarcho-capitalist flag emblem as my avatar on Twitter /X. But man, oh man, I would love to try this on draft because it's probably a 7, right? This is the case where we're going to 11 out of 10 on draft, maybe 12. Because this one will go to 12. And Because out of the can, it's a solid 10. I mean, this is a 10 out of 10, 100, whatever you want to say, 5 out of 5. So I can't imagine how much better on draft it would be, just because this is a stereotypical of a beer that's fermented slowly. So it's probably a big yeast bill, but it's not warm, so you don't get any alcohol burning. Even at 9.4, you should get something. The hops are so well balanced. It's unbelievable. It's fruitiness, the right levels. It's not overpowering. You could probably pair this with almost any meal. And then you go up to leave and you go boom, because you don't realize how drunk you are, or as fizzy as it is. But so there you go. So what it feels, I mean, it's been a long time since I've had any severe Sierra Nevada of any kind other than Bigfoot. I used to buy that every year many years ago. It's just like that one. And I used to get IRS from Stone every year and Old Guardian every year. And then somewhere in there, I stopped doing it, and then they stopped making this stuff. So especially the IRS, I think, because I don't know. I wish they'd bring it back. That's my favorite beer of Stone. But I've got some Stone. My brother brought some, so we'll be getting to those soon. And we'll be doing the pledge. And I'll find my Stone Greg t-shirt from when Greg, years ago, before the beard, before the Grizzly Adams look and everything else. I don't know if he still follows me on Twitter. I know the brewery does. But I mean, I don't. But I can't wait, and it's why I got to get back to brewing, because I swear they were in my head for like 2 years. Every beer I made, they would come out with it. Like a week before I bottled it, I could buy that exact beer on the shelf. It was uncanny. Uncanny. So it's been many years ago, but thank you very much for stopping by. Thanks so much for clicking like and sharing the crap out of the videos. The channel, despite me being lazy and stupid, the channel has actually started to grow again. And I thank you so much. Let me know what kinds of, not only beers you want to see reviewed, but pairings, because I started doing pairings, not with food, but with liquor, especially the samples. The 2 liquor stores in town, I can get a zillion sample sizes. It's unbelievable. Or some slightly bigger ones that are like $4 or $5, as opposed to buying a whole bottle. It's you can tell you're in the hills, well, the mountains, because everything is whiskey, and it's like beer. That's what we used to wash the dog with, I am in Johnson County, Tennessee, and as far as I know, my understanding, it's the only county completely in the Blue Ridge Uplift. So it's just all mountains. And unfortunately, I didn't get started early enough today, but I am going to try and do these more outside. As soon as that screen and porch is done, we're definitely doing beer reviews out there. So the bugs, I went to set up today, not long before sunset, and there were yellow jackets literally chasing me around the porch. And I'm like, I'm not putting up with that. I got a scar here from being stung last year, and I don't want to do it again. So thanks so much for sharing, and thanks for putting up with me for all these years, and I really appreciate it, and we'll see you. Goodbye. Hey, Nick, I just wanted to tell you, I just recorded a review of this beer out of the can, and unlike what the people might want to believe, 5 out of 5. 10 out of 10, however you want to say it. Thanks, bye.